Do you consider yourself a high achiever? Smart, driven, highly successful? I am so excited to have you. My name is Julia Arndt and I'm the host of the Stressed podcast. I will help you develop your stress resilience the same way you've developed your workplace superpowers. Learn peak performance tools to thrive at work and in your personal life. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Stressed podcast. I'm always so excited to welcome my podcast guests to the show. And today it's Hayley Hobson. Hi, Hayley. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I am really impressed by your bookshelf in the back that has on the first shelf all white books, on the second all like pinkish red, and then on the third like bluish turquoise. That looks awesome.
There's actually like a Netflix show, I can't remember what it's called, The Home Edit or something, where they actually go through like how to rainbowize your home. And this is the only corner that I actually did that with, but it actually makes a difference. It like just makes the books look prettier. So yeah, I like it too.
It looks awesome. I love it. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do that after we talk. You can see I have some white books underneath here and some over there. But Hayley, how has your day been so far? Where are you located and what have you been up to this morning?
I'm in Boulder, Colorado. I just woke up to about a foot of snow and I got back here 2 days ago from San Diego, California. So just a little bit of a difference in the weather. We have a snow day. So my kids are home. My kid is home, but she also has two friends that are with her here. So I've been just like 10 minutes countdown till you guys shut the F up. 5 minutes countdown. All right, we're starting in 2. Get out of the house. My office here, you really can't see, but it's surrounded by window on all 4 walls. Like I don't actually have any walls, but the wall over here, there's no wall. It's like a ledge that looks down onto the next floor of the house, which is where our bedrooms are. And then you can look down even farther into the kitchen, dining room. So it's like I'm sitting in this big loft up here and you can hear everything. So when March 2020 hit and I had her home full time and my stepdaughter, who was a freshman in college at the time, I was just like, somebody shoot me now.
Yeah. You're like, this house made so much sense 2 years ago.
Yeah, when nobody lived with me. Exactly. And so I ended up like shifting into, we have another bedroom, like an extra bedroom on the main landing level here. And I built an entire office in there where I can shut the door, but I just love this space so much better. Yeah. And normally now McKenna's back in college. She's at University of San Diego. She's in Costa Rica right now for a semester, but she's out of the house for good. And then Madeline usually is gone from 7:15 until 4:15. So those are my work hours. And when she's off like she is today, I'm just like, yay, this is what it feels like to never get anything done.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of moms that are listening to the podcast can relate to that. It's beautiful. I love the light in the house. It looks really nice. Hayley, tell us a little bit more about you. What have you been up to over the last few years? Who are you? What do you do professionally? What would we like to know about you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the last 2 years I've been hanging out at home like the rest of you. But what I like a little bit of behind the scenes of who I am. Like I actually started off my professional career as a bankruptcy attorney. And so when I graduated college, which was up in Boston, I'm from the East Coast originally, born in New York, moved to Philadelphia area, went to college in Boston, came home, moved into downtown Philadelphia, went to law school in Rutgers, Camden, practiced for a year there, and then flew out to the other coast, to the West Coast. And I moved to LA for about 10 years. And for the first couple of years I was there, I was a practicing corporate bankruptcy attorney. Like we did reorganizations of businesses. Wow. And specifically in the entertainment industry, I was heavily involved in back then. That's sort of the niche that I found myself in. And after about 5 years in the practice, I realized that it just wasn't for me. Like I just didn't want to practice law. Like it wasn't my passion. And I don't know how I got there and I didn't know what I was doing there. And so I was more drawn to health and wellness. And I was an athlete. I had been an athlete my whole life. I grew up as a swimmer. I was now competing in triathlons at an amateur level, but as a podium ranked amateur level triathlete. I was swimming competitively my whole life. I was running, I was cycling. And so then I got into yoga and I got into Pilates as a way to restore balance in my body and to recover from different injuries and also build strength and endurance in my muscles and my skeleton and to keep the anatomy of my body like in check. And I also had grown up with a variety of different digestive disorders. So all of my life I was diagnosed as having irritable bowel syndrome or having like an inflammatory bowel or having my colon is on the wrong side of my body and just all of these things that made eating really challenging for me. And then there was a whole slew of repercussions from that, because when you're not feeling well in your gut, then your brain isn't functioning well and you're not sleeping well, and then you're a raging bitch, and then like all of the things like emotionally, your emotional health isn't sound and your mental health isn't sound. So for the first like part of my adult life, I just really was like an anxious ball of freaking nerves and never really felt well. And I think that this journey into yoga and Pilates was the first step in that direction, where I really got to, okay, like settle down, look for what we now refer to as balance, and start to make changes in my life and in my surroundings and with what I was putting on and in my body. Anyway, long story short, after about 10 years of teaching yoga and Pilates, the world of digital everything started to come on the rise here. And I was super intrigued. I loved photography. I loved taking pictures. I loved the idea. I loved copywriting. I didn't know I loved copywriting, but I loved messaging. I loved marketing. I didn't know I loved marketing, but it's really marketing is just really an intimate way of being connected with people. And so I started creating, without realizing what I was doing, I started creating my own personal brand. Mm-hmm. And my personal brand morphed into this bigger sort of vision of eating smarter, resting better, and being more productive. Like, what can you put in your body, on your body? Can you wind down? How can you actively rest? Like, what are all of the things, whether it's literally like ingesting adaptogens, or whether it's meditation, or whether it's intermittent fasting, or, whether it's creating time blocks on your calendar, whatever it is, like that became, who I became known for. And during that journey, I also heavily got into essential oils, which then became a major component of my brand and my business. And long story shorter, I ended up becoming a member of or affiliate, an affiliate in doTERRA Essential Oils, which is the largest essential oil company in the world right now, and it's international and sources of their oils all over the world. And I became one of their top leaders internationally, like literally globally in the world. So right now what I do is I spend my time either sharing essential oils with the world, helping people with natural protocols through essential oils, and also through my content, whether it's on my own podcast or whether it is on, lives that I'm doing, or whether it is courses that I'm launching or memberships that you can be a part of. Like, everything is about being in the space where I can give you that slight edge. Because so many people, like, they know the things to do. Like, they know, like, I should be on Instagram, but I'm not consistently. Or I should be talking to my ideal client, but I don't really know who she is or how to connect. Or I heard about intermittent fasting, and even though I don't want to go totally vegan, and you don't have to, that's okay. Like, there are still ways where you can maximize the nourishment and nutrition in your body. So I've developed these communities that I spend my time in. Like I said, my essential oils business, my habit hackers community, and my Your Whole Biz course, where I am teaching people all of these things. Because here's the thing, my personal view on success is that you can have all of the tips in front of, like, you can get them anywhere. You don't have to join my course. Like, you can get them free on the web, right? Like, everybody has them. Like, they're published everywhere. People have a million YouTube videos, a million podcasts. You can listen to a million experts. But it's how you're showing up in leadership, like how you're showing up and leading yourself and leading others around you with your mindset that helps breed your success set. And so it doesn't matter how much you know about the analytics that you need to be getting out there on social media or how to pitch your offer. But it's like, how do I train my brain to respond to all the stimuli that's coming in on a daily basis? And then what can I use? Maybe it's essential oils. Maybe it's a cacao latte. Maybe it's going to bed at 8:30. Maybe it's like cleansing my relationships. But people, they need more of that in their life. They need to be surrounded by communities that are lifting them up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what I've been cultivating a lot over the last 2 years. When you asked about the last 2 years, because I've been able to actually spend more time here because I'm not traveling like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 homes. I go back and forth between San Diego and Boulder, Colorado. So I probably spend about, 5.5 months in Boulder, maybe 4.5 months in San Diego, and then miscellaneous, like 2 months here and there going other places. But I've still been traveling less. So I've been more focused on the intimate connection that we can have with each other so we can find the vision.
Mm-hmm.
We can plant the vision that we have for ourselves in our life and then set an intention that is so unstoppable that we have no other option but taking action to find that path to success.
Wow. Thank you for that extensive introduction. This is so interesting. And I'm going to just ask you the next question so you can give us more insights, but because it's super interesting. So how many years ago was it when you started kind of that online, just maybe posting on your own personal Instagram, I assume, and then kind of seeing this grow? How long ago was that?
Yeah. So I would say probably a decade ago.
Okay.
And there was no Instagram back then. It was actually just Facebook. But about 10 years ago is when I decided that I wanted, I mean, look, I didn't use the words personal brand and things like that because they didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
But I decided I wanted my own Facebook page and I wanted my own messaging around myself. And I wanted to share with the world what my passion and my vision was. Mm-hmm. And really, like when I used the word leadership earlier, and I'm going to use this again because I think that what leadership means is being powerful enough. Still means you can be soft and subtle and loving and cuddly, but like being powerful enough to enroll other people in your vision to take action. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it could be something like, hey, why aren't you using citrus oils every single morning? And then sharing with them why I do it, enrolling them in the vision of opening their own wholesale account and diffusing oils like by their desk every day. Or it could be being powerful enough and strong in conviction to enroll people in the idea of eating more plant-based food. Or I enroll my daughter all the time in going to bed on time, right? Or washing her hair, or we're going to swim practice today. So leadership is taking a stand that you're firmly planted and convicted in, and being enrolling in your vision that other people want to join you and take action.
Be part of. Yeah. And so, okay, so 10 years ago, you did that. And then how long, you were talking about consistency earlier, and it's something that very deeply resonates with me. So I'm curious about consistency. So how often did you post on Facebook? When did you make the move to Instagram? When how many years did you do that until you were like, wow, like this is actually becoming like a full-time job or a full-time business or something that you can live from?
Facebook was so different back then. Like they wanted you to post so much back then. And so I used to actually post like 6 times a day on my Facebook page. And the amount of time that it took to create that kind of content, I literally would wake up in the morning and I would start creating, and I felt like I was creating all day. And I said to my husband, like, now I get why people have marketing departments, because I am my marketing person right now. But I also needed to be in my sales department, and I also needed to be the CEO of my business, and I also needed to be the strategist and the visionary and the bookkeeper and all of the things. And so luckily that kind of shifted and we didn't have to post like that forever. Now I probably post daily. I post daily on all of my channels. Instagram, I wasn't one of the first people on Instagram. I think it took me like at least a year. I don't remember when Instagram first came on the scene, but I'm looking at my account right now and I've posted 5,082 posts. And so I don't know, 365 a day. I mean, a year times, you do the math. I mean, it's been several years that I've been over here. It's been at least 5 years that I've been on an Instagram. I don't know that anybody has, what I think you're asking is does anybody have overnight success?
Yes.
And most people are working really diligently behind the scenes before other people are tuned into who they are.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've been consistently showing up as myself for 40 plus years.
Wow. Yeah. No, thank you for obviously highlighting that. Yeah. I think this is so important to say because overnight success doesn't exist and it takes many years to build a really successful business. And I think also to just create the credibility, right? That people are like, hey, she is showing up consistently for us and she is that leader and she is someone that I want to be, right? And then you get, I think, the followers and you get people that are starting to enroll in your programs and buy your products because of that. So yeah, I think that's super powerful. And, you were talking a little bit about these programs, and I'm sure there's some kind of passive income that comes from that. How have you been thinking about building different income streams in order to be where you are at today?
I think that it's really necessary to have multiple income streams. I mean, it doesn't mean that everything has to be like a capital letter. Like, doTERRA is my capital letter, right? And then I've got other things that are like a medium and other things that are lowercase. You don't have to have like, I'm not saying that you have to have like 6 capital letter businesses. You might have like a 9-to-5, like you're working for somebody else and that is your main thing, but you can still have the option of another revenue stream here or another revenue stream here. And I think I started to see that when I was affiliating, is that a word? Affiliating, like I became an affiliate partner for different businesses. And also when I wrote a few books. And I also remember seeing this years ago, like when I lived in LA, I actually did a lot of, modeling, and I actually was in a couple of commercials, like TV commercials that pay a lot of money.
Wow.
And it was like really fun to continue to receive those residuals. This is a long time ago, but I remember one commercial that I did. I mean, it ended up making like $50,000 or $60,000. And like, that was a big deal back then, it's still a big deal, but it was really a big deal back then. And, to get those recurring checks, and sometimes I get them now for things I did so long ago. Like I might get a $40 check here or a $70 check here, or I'm getting a $1,000 check here for, maybe it's like literally like an ebook that I created, or like a physical book that's still selling or whatever. But hey, like that's cool. I'll take the $40 and take somebody out to coffee or lunch or dinner, because like I totally didn't expect that. And it's really cool also to have the residual checks coming in from my doTERRA business, or when I launch a course and, we decide to do that twice a year, and like, oh, that's cool. I'll make a couple $100,000 there. You know what I mean? So I think that people should think about other opportunities for income, because we've all seen that we are living in a world where nothing is guaranteed and the rug can be pulled out from underneath of you like that. And what worked then isn't working now. And I see that all the time, even in my own business. And I literally had this conversation with my team today. I'm like, we get to pivot. Like, why is everybody being a bitch? Like, we get to pivot. Like, I didn't literally say that, but sometimes I get resistance from people, and it's like, hey, you know what? This is the nature of the world. Like, just because it worked yesterday doesn't mean it's going to work today. And that is the risk that we as entrepreneurs get to take. And it's also the opportunity that we have to make changes. Something so interesting, and I know I'm going off topic, but I did something last week where I taught this workshop, and then I made an online offer into my membership, my Habit Hackers membership, where people can hang out with me Monday and literally have this opportunity for me to coach them and be in the hot seat about the habits that they are taking in their life. And the messaging that I had, like I don't think it resonated as well as it normally does, because we just didn't see the numbers coming in like we normally do. And today I've been sitting on it for a couple of days because it's been about a week. And today I was thinking to myself, like, wow, I actually really needed that to happen. I mean, not that I ever like spending that much time launching something, teaching something, and then obviously not seeing the results, but I needed to see that happen because there's a shift going on right now. And I wasn't looking at it. And that woke me up really quick to go, wait a minute. Okay. Like, we get to change our plan here and even make some changes to whether it's a facelift or an uplift or whatever you want to call it to the membership and how we offer it to people. So yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, with all of these different income streams and all of the things that you're working on, how do you manage your time and your work-life balance?
Oh, such a good question. Such a good question. Because this is like my favorite topic to talk about. In fact, on Monday, I have no idea when you're airing this podcast, but on Monday, I'm literally hosting a Reclaim Your Time challenge. I am so passionate about this. I do this once or twice a year where I literally go live for 5 days and challenge people with certain activities to reclaim their time and literally revamp their calendar. I have everybody delete their calendar, like literally delete their entire calendar while they're with me and start over, choose a new calendar. And I literally help them rebuild it like they're building a house so that they have the freedom in their life to get done all of the things that they want to get done and stop procrastinating because they don't have time, and actually feel at ease and in flow with their life because they have time. And I love waking up to, like, today, it's funny, you're like, how do you have so much time? The only thing I had on my calendar today that I had to do was I committed to do this podcast episode with you. I had an alignment meeting with my team. I had a workout, and I get to do a positioning meeting with my copywriter and also do my clubhouse room. But that's only about like an hour on the workout. I don't know how long you and I are together. Let's just say we're here for an hour. A meeting with my team, an hour alignment team, 30 minutes with my copywriter, my clubhouse room. Like, that's a 5-hour day. And when I look at that, because I'm up from, 5 in the morning until like 9 o'clock at night, which is 12, 13, 14, 16, 17 hours. I'm like, look at all that freedom in my day. Like, I have a lot of time because I create that. Like, I'm very intentional with what I want to put on my calendar and what is going to move the needle. And then I'm really good at delegating to other people and making clear expectations about ownership of projects, who is owning it. Because a lot of us get lost with, is she going to do that? Is she going to respond to that? I'm not going to reply to that because somebody else is going to do that. So really good about designing what is the best things for me to do in my business. Like, nobody can show up and do this podcast with you because you're interviewing me, right? So like, maybe if you were writing a book, somebody could answer the questions for you, but I'm the only one who can do this episode with you. I'm the only one who can translate that messaging to my copywriter. I'm the only one who can host the podcast room, the clubhouse room. So I get to choose with intention and strategy what I want to have on my calendar, and then not put things on that are time sucking, that are draining me, that aren't moving the needle, and that somebody else could do, or that don't have to be done today. Like, you can also defer things. So really good at doing delegating, deferring, and dumping, and then making space to take care of myself too is part of that. Like, when I learned this morning that my daughter had a snow day, we all of a sudden didn't have to leave the house at 7:10. So I all of a sudden knew I didn't have to wake up at 5, because if my first thing was at 9, my workout, would it be so terrible if I slept in until 6:30? No, So I was like, okay, I'm setting an intention to sleep in tomorrow. And guess what? I woke up at 6:30 instead of 5. Like,
Nice.
like you can set that kind of intention. And I've still been getting done all of the things that are on my calendar, and I will be done with my day by 3. I mean, I have my clubhouse from 3 to 5, but I'll be done with my day so that I have freedom to be with my family and freedom to sit in the bath tonight or sit in the sauna or get on a phone call with a friend. Like relationships are super important to me, and they fill me up and they make me feel more creative, and I can give love. And when I give love, I feel love. And so you want to make time for those things. You want to make time for eating well and nourishing your body and resting and sleeping. So yeah, I definitely think no matter how nobody's too busy to create self-care and to create white space on their calendar. You're just filling your days up with shit that doesn't matter, or you're not good at delegating, or you have this belief that you have to do everything and that no one is going to do it as good as you.
Yeah. And so Hayley 15 years ago, was she the same? Have you always been good at time management, or was there like a shift where, you were maybe all over the place and maybe close to burnout and super overwhelmed, and then you learned all of these things? Or would you say you've always been pretty good at managing your time and having these realizations?
I think I've always been really good at being busy. And I think I've always been really good at being focused and getting stuff done. But I don't think I was good at creating just space to be and to think and to be creative and to enjoy. And so I just filled my days up with a million things that weren't necessary and overloaded. I don't ever want to call myself a person who was all over the place, because I don't believe that I was a person that was all over the place, but I was definitely living in overwhelm, and I was definitely living in burnout, and I was definitely living in exhaustion, and I was definitely living in a belief system that wasn't working for me. And so it has been mostly over the last several years. And it's been some of it is like a trust factor. Like I don't trust somebody to take on this or that, but some of it is an experimentation factor. Like I don't trust myself to release that. And some of it is this fear or lack of abundance, or lack of money. Like, oh, I can't afford to give that to somebody else. And we all have that, by the way. Like even still, I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend $10 on that juice, and I'm going to buy 3 of them, and I'm going to spend $10 to have somebody else pick it up for me. Now all of a sudden those juices became $13 or $14. Is it worth it? Yes, because I can do something else with that hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And so that shift from being a bankruptcy attorney to doing your own business, how was that like? Was that like kind of one day to another, like, I'm not at all aligned with that mission and vision in my life and I want to do something else? Or how was that process? I'm really curious.
Yeah, it kind of was like that. It was kind of like, I am not aligned with this vision anymore. I hate getting up in the morning and going to work. I can't stand commuting. It used to take me like, anywhere on the short end, like 20 to, if I had to go downtown LA and be in court, like 40, 45 minutes in the car and then back. And as a new associate, there's all these expectations. Like you're supposed to be the first one in the office. And if you don't get there by 8, like what are people going to think of you? And you're definitely not leaving at 5, because nobody leaves at 5 or even 6 or 7. And I was like, how do people have kids, let alone pets or a plant? Like I can't even drop off my dry cleaning because by the time I get out of work, they're closed. Like it was crazy. And so I was living for my weekends. And then I was just thinking to myself, like, this is not my life. I am living somebody else's life. So it literally was a gut intuition that I just needed to go. And it was a gut intuition that I just needed to start something on my own, and a belief that I could. And I think that anything is possible. I think that we are capable of giving 100% of the time. And we are able to create whatever it is that we want to create. The problem is that some people are so blocked with sitting down and creating a vision, and then setting that intention to actually get it done. And intention is everything. It's 100%. Like you can't have action without intention, right? So if you do believe that you have value, if you do believe that you matter, if you do believe that what you have to offer is going to shift and change somebody else, then it's as easy as trusting your gut. And so, yeah, I don't remember, like, did I leave work on a Tuesday and start my business on a Wednesday? Or did I take a month off? It was so long ago. But I do know that I had to go, and I do know that I had something else inside of me. And that's what I teach people now. Like one of the products that I sell when I launch it is you have an online offer inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
You have an offer you can sell online inside of you. You just may not know how to get your message out.
Mm-hmm.
You may not know how to create the mechanics of the email funnel or the social media funnel or build the community. That's fine. Nobody knows how to do that in the beginning. That's totally fine. You're not alone. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you have something inside of you and you just need to figure out how to do the mechanics and then how to speak from your heart so that people are wanting to link arms with you and you're casting your vision. And then you can put that offer out there in the online space. So I love teaching this because it is what I did, right? It is. I left a career in law to become like a physical Pilates and yoga teacher, which is not an online offering at the time. And then I knew that there was more. And so I've always been thinking about multiple different, strategic ways. And by the way, my doTERRA business, my essential oil business is not traditionally an online business. Like that's network marketing. Like people usually, I meet you in person and you smell my oils and you're like, oh my God, what can you get me? But I've done it online because I figured out a way to connect with people and get my messaging across in a way that they're like, yes, I want a natural immunity. Sign me up for that. Show me what you're doing, or, oh my gosh, you sleep 8 hours without waking up to go to the bathroom. Yes. And I used to be on sleep medications for a decade and I still do that now. So, I've been able to make so many shifts in my life through experimentation. And I love being the messenger and sharing that with other people. And you all do too. You all have a message inside of you that you get to make to somebody else in the online space, which is the space to be in right now.
What do you think the most powerful mindset shift was for you, and through what did that come? Was it like books you were reading or people that you were talking to? Or, I mean, podcast is also kind of more of a new thing, but what helped you to develop that of a strong mindset?
I think we all start with like the tactical, like show me how to use Facebook, or show me how to go live, or show me how to create my first digital course. And we all want to do that, but like all of that's irrelevant if you don't have mindset. So when I realized that, I'm a certified life coach, and I've gone through multiple life coaching and leadership programs to help me develop. Sometimes I didn't even know I was doing it because it's like, you get enrolled in somebody else's vision of being in that program and then you're like, oh man, this is amazing. And then you don't even notice your shifts until you've made your shifts. But if I had to like give you a most recent revelation that I had for myself, it's that I'm 100% responsible for what I create. 100% responsible. So I can create a fight with my husband right now. I can literally go create a fight with him. Like if we're all of a sudden we're fighting, like I co-created that. It may not have been my intention, but I created it. Or I can create, I have my own podcast too called, well, you're on it. You and I are going to be on it. Called Hayley Hobson Whole You, but I'm actually creating another podcast all about how to become a 6-figure essential oil leader, a 6-figure earner in the essential oil business. And I can create a top podcast. Like I get to create anything I want to create. I get to create a new Instagram account. Like when I lost all my social accounts a month ago or a little over a month ago, created a new Instagram account. And I showed everybody how you can build 1,300 followers in 7 days. You are able to create whatever you want, but you might not either have the belief in yourself to do it, or you may not trust enough. And so you get to do whatever you want to do in order to build that belief and trust. Because once you have it and you recognize that you're 100% responsible for everything, your world is like an oyster.
Yeah, for sure. So powerful. Do you have a favorite income stream? I mean, not maybe based on just the money that you make from it, but just like what makes you the most excited and that really gets you up every morning?
I mean, I would say that two of the main things that I'm doing are my course launches. Like when I launch, I love giving people, like my Your Whole Biz course is a 10-module, 12-week course, literally on how to create your own messaging and online offer to selling it at the end. And what I watch people do in those 3 months is mind blowing. So that like creating your own, whatever that is, your own online course for whatever you want to teach people is such an incredible income stream.
Cool.
And network marketing is by far one of the best inventions, because when you share with people something that works, that you love, and again, it works and you believe in it, and then they start sharing with other people, your income is untapped with a business like that, and recurring. And it's just recurring. It's recurring.
Yeah,
the income is literally
yeah.
recurring. And it's just so insane. So those are my two favorite income streams.
Yeah, very cool. I want to talk with you a little bit about doTERRA and a little bit about kind of just the health benefits. I love doTERRA. You didn't know that before you met me, but now I tell you, I actually have my diffuser right over there. And I love doTERRA. I've gotten into it a couple of years ago as well, and I'm just blown away with like what the oils can do. Like that's my travel pharmacy. Like I don't take anything else. I just take Digest Zen and On Guard, and I have my little veggie capsules, and I do my own little, immunity bombs when I feel like, I need an immunity booster and things like that. It's an incredible invention. Whoever created doTERRA is it's a god to me. But can you tell people that are maybe not so familiar with essential oils about the power of essential oils? What are essential oils? And then I'll ask you more questions, but maybe let's start with that.
Yeah, essential oils are basically what they are, is they're aromatic compounds. So if you can think about like a plant being grown in its most indigenous environment. So like I'm not going to grow lavender here in Colorado. We're going to go to where when the plant is grown and then harvest, and then you distill it. You distill so when you distill a plant, you're basically extracting the essential oil from it. It's an aromatic compound that comes from the plant. Sometimes it comes from the root or the seed or the flower or the leaf or the bark, but it's an aromatic compound that is extracted from the plant during that distillation process. And then what ends up happening is you get these, wonderful drops of oils in this bottle. You're literally getting the oil from the entire essence of the plant. And it's hard to describe because it has so many purposeful benefits. So, sometimes there are emotional benefits that you can get from smelling an essential oil. That's why diffusing is so powerful. The aromatic compound is coming into the air and it's lifting and it's suspending itself in the air. And as you inhale it, you have an olfactory nerve that sits behind your nose and attaches to your brain, and your brain is getting a signal to react or respond a certain way. And then sometimes you can take the oils internally. And when you take the oils internally, they're having a direct impact as they go through your digestive system on your organs and on your body. And you can also use the oils topically. So as you rub them into your hands or into your neck or into a certain part of your body, they're absorbing into your skin and then even into your bloodstream. And they're having a response that way too. So whether you're looking for some type of emotional health benefit or mental health benefit or digestive benefit or, immune support or relaxation response or sleeping better, or, you've got even a more targeted response like I have a UTI and what is going to be antimicrobial and what's going to be antibacterial and what can I use to support that, getting rid of that bacteria. There's literally, like we say, there's an oil for everything.
Yeah. And so specifically for your story, because you were mentioning two things that I want to just dive into as two examples. You mentioned the irritable bowel syndrome, so issues with the digestion, and then also sleep. What do you do, and what kind of oils do you take for that?
Yeah, so sleep is pretty easy. My bedtime routine, in order to promote like a better night's sleep, is I take 2 of our Serenity gel caps, which are little gel caps that have our Serenity blend in them. And Serenity is a blend that is our restful blend. It has sweet marjoram and chamomile and vetiver and lavender and ylang ylang in it. And I take 2 copaiba soft gels, and copaiba are cannabinoids. So they're similar to like a CBD, but they are interacting with your nervous system in a different kind of way. and the plant is sourced from Brazil. So I take 2 of each of those at night, and then I fill my diffuser with essential oils. Like sometimes I put the Serenity blend, the liquid blend in there, or chamomile, or ylang ylang, or lavender and the wild orange, or frankincense and lavender and wild orange. And I'm creating an environment and a space where aromatically and internally I'm allowing my body to rest. I'm giving it the signal to surrender, and I sleep throughout the night. And again, I was a person who was on medication for 10 years to put myself to sleep and stay asleep. And it was a miracle to me when I found essential oils and I could do that and get off all my meds. As far as digestion, I take the Just Digest Zen blend like you do. And I use that twice a day. I use it on my belly in the morning, and I use it on my belly. I rub it in the evening, and I'm allowing my body to do its natural thing through the peppermint and the fennel and, you know, all of the oils that are in there, the anise, that are allowing my body to literally digest and then rest. And I do take 2 peppermint soft gels, which are specifically targeted for somebody who has intestinal issues. And the reason I love those is they're time release, and the peppermint actually doesn't insert itself into the lower bowel until it gets into the lower bowel. So oftentimes when you're taking oils internally, they may get lost in your esophagus, or they may get lost like as they go into your stomach or whatever. And this specific soft gel releases in the lower bowel. So it's my body's a little bit messed up, but the digestion, it's supposed to go nicely like this through your colon, and mine's like all over the place, and the colon's all in knots and on the wrong side of my body. So not that you need to have an intestine like that for these to work effectively, but 2 soft gels, 2 peppermint soft gels. I take digestive enzymes. doTERRA has digestive enzymes. I use the digestive blend. And then I also take the Lifelong Vitality pack, which is a vitamin nutrient pack, and omegas and cellular vitality that also have a digestive blend inside of it. So it's allowing your body to literally absorb the nutrients and plant them into your body rather than excrete them through, your urine or whatever. So that's my like basic digestion and sleep protocol.
Yeah, amazing. And would you say your digestion now is better?
Oh,
like how?
on. Yeah, so good. Like, you know, I'm at my ideal weight. I feel energetic. I don't feel lethargic. I don't have spasms. I don't have cramps. I used to be a person who had a stomachache every day, and was like, no corn, no wheat, no this, no that, no sugar, no caffeine, no like I literally couldn't eat anything. And now I choose not to eat certain things because they're not good for you, but I really have, like, everything's working in my body now.
That's awesome. Very cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's super interesting. I have a million other doTERRA questions, but I will pause them maybe for after the podcast. But yeah, I think it's super interesting. I really am a big believer in oils as well. I'm a big non-believer in medication. I know that some people need it, or some people think they need it, but I like to believe that there's a lot of things that we can do on a natural level. So doTERRA oils are absolutely fantastic, and I would highly recommend to everyone to just try it out and see how they feel with it. But yeah, it's been becoming more and more as well. I feel like you dip your toes in it at the beginning, and you get like a lavender oil because it smells nice or something like that, and then you kind of start to really see the effects of it, and you get more and more of it. So it's been really cool. Hayley, this has been so interesting. What are you planning next? What do you want to do in 2022? What's your vision for your business?
I'm excited for my Reclaim Your Time challenge starting on February 7th. We get to do that next week, Monday through Friday. I'm excited to take people through my process of time management. I'm really excited about a summit series that I'm hosting 4 times this year with 3 other women. We're calling it On the Edge, and we're bringing lots of different amazing people in to help create a creative and digital economy. And then I will for sure be launching my Your Whole Biz course in the next, I don't know, what's February? It's February, March, in the next 2 months or so. I take my students through, like I said, 3 months of that, usually twice a year. And then sharing oils with as many people as possible. So that's what I've got going on in the next couple of months.
Very nice. I'm actually curious as well. You mentioned you wrote a couple of books as well. What are the books?
So I wrote a book called Get It Done. And that is literally just available on Amazon. And actually both of the books are available on Amazon. And I also wrote a book about essential oils. I'm not sure if you know. Get it done. And then a beginner's guide to essential oils, which is like a practice, natural practices for natural and holistic lifestyle, and using essential oils as a reference.
Okay, very
They're
cool.
both on Amazon.
I will definitely link them in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for sharing that. Awesome, Hayley. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Actually, one more question. I'm very curious about that, since you have so many books in the background. Was there one book that really changed your life? Maybe that you go back to so often in order to like reread it, because there has just been so much wisdom in there. It doesn't have to be one book, could also be multiple books.
Okay, so you're probably not going to like the answer, because I never go back to books and I never reread books, and I'm a fiction reader. So I love to absorb my information by either taking a digital course or showing up at a mastermind or showing up at a conference and really absorbing and being in the energy of learning. But for me, I love reading fiction. And so I have several favorite authors. Like I really love women writers who are doing massive character development. And I love like living vicariously through the stories that they're telling about their families or whatever.
Yeah. Tell us your favorite fiction book then.
I love Ellen Hildebrand. She's such a great writer. She's on my shelf. And, I can't see that far away, so I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay. But I love that you're saying that. I love that you're so honest about this, because I think it's not always just all about the self-help books. It's all about whatever lights us with joy. So I'm really excited to see that you love fiction books.
I love fiction. Sofia Kinsella is like one of my favorite new authors. And I absolutely love fiction. So
do you like Isabel Allende? That's one of my big favorites.
I don't know if I've read her.
Oh, you gotta get into Isabel Allende. She has definitely some strong characters in her books. I'll share some books with you afterwards.
I have another bookshelf, and so this is just half my books because I've got my other bookshelf in San Diego. But I love reading. When I used to do a lot of travel, I used to read a lot on the planes, and I would read like a book a week. And I've been slowing down recently just because I haven't been traveling as much. And like Clubhouse came around, I was playing on that for a while, and then I don't know, I just have lately gotten addicted to a bunch of shows on Netflix and Hulu and Apple. But I would say, I'm at least reading a book a month, and sometimes I just get in a phase where I'm like powering through several a month.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much for your wonderful spirit, Hayley. It was really nice to listen to you, and super inspiring of all of the things that you have created. So thank you so much for all of the things that you have created and you have brought into the world to help people create their own businesses. I'm really excited to look at some of those offers as well. And if you are interested to connect with Hayley, how can they best do that?
Yeah, so my website is hayleyhobson.com. It's Hayley. That's how you spell my name, the old-fashioned, like British way. hayleyhobson.com. And then I'm Hayley Hobson on Instagram, Hayley Hobson Whole You on Facebook. I am Hayley Hobson on TikTok. Literally, if you Google my name, anything will come up. So happy to see you guys over there in my social media. Say hi.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hayley. It was great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you soon.